We move on to the co-feature portion of the program. As we mentioned, most of the action has been taking place either in Asia, across the pond, but this particular weekend, we got a nice little show taking place in Las Vegas. It is the return of Caleb Plant. He faces off against Armando Resendíz. And we have Big Charlo, Jamal Charlo. It's going to be taking place. My old friend, Mr. Thomas LaManna. Let's start off with Plant and Resendíz. That one has been a pretty calm performance. Yeah. Not a lot is known about Resendíz. Kind of a big, strong Mexican kid, very muscular, very pretty much a prototype for what you think of when you think of Mexican boxing. What do you expect from that particular bout?
Well, first of all, I mean, on paper, honestly, it looks like a mismatch. It really does. Because Plant's, he's got the experience. He's been in there with Benavidez, with Canelo. But Resendíz, I seen him fight. He's hungry. He's young. He's 26 years of age. El Toro, the bull, that says it all. I think he's gonna give Plant a much better fight than what people think. He comes to fight. He's an action fighter, and I think Plant is probably gonna keep him on the outside and outbox him. But Resendíz is gonna give it all. He's gonna give it his all, like the usual Mexican brawler that comes to fight. Good body attack, takes a good shot, takes 3 or 4 shots to get in there and see what he could do. But it should be a good, entertaining fight, Lupina.
How much of a factor do you think is going to be Plant style? I mean, Plant basically has the prototypical style that always gives that Mexican come forward, aggressive, body attacking style a huge problem. If you had to, bet, do you think it's just going to be a case of Plant frustrating him, outworking him, outslicking him for most of the bout, and then maybe perhaps stopping him late?
Yeah, most definitely. He's going to control the fight with his footwork. Plant is a really good boxer puncher. He's got good movement. His jab is really good, on point. He throws nice combinations and he gets out of there. So yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a good. It's a fun fight. It's a fun fight for Plant. All this is just I think it's a preview to what's to come in the future. Of course, we got Charlo fighting in there with LaManna, and I think it's a preview for seeing Plant and Charlo down the line in the next fight, Lupina.
Speaking of, there's a little bit of history between Big Charlo, Jamar Charlo, and Caleb Plant. There was that slapping incident. He's a guy that's very easily excitable. He hasn't been in the ring. He's been in the ring sparingly.
But this will be the first time, I believe.
Yeah, this will be the first time we see him in the ring. What do you expect from him?
Well, like I said, he's been off for about 1.5 years. So, he definitely wants to look impressive against the journeyman, LaManna. LaManna, he's on a 9-fight win streak, ever since he lost to Eduardo Nuñez. He's also a promoter. I think you've done some fights for Thomas LaManna. But for Charlo, I think, he wants to make a statement. He wants to look impressive. He wants to look good. He wants to, he's still undefeated. And he wants to make good showing so he could get that fight against Caleb Plant. I think that's the next fight. I think that's the next step. That, like I said, this is just a preview with Plant and LaManna. Plant and Charlo fighting different opponents, but the plan is for them to meet up with each other.
Now they had a media call promoting the fight, and there was one with Charlo and LaManna. And I want to show you a clip here. He's always been a guy, I did a lot of the fights with both Charlos back when they were Golden Boy in their early days. But I want to show you this video clip. It got really spicy and it got kind of wild on that video call.
So like Thomas, I'm gonna beat your ass. You know that. I'm back. He back. That's what I wanted. He back. So
that shit don't bother, bro.
Remember all that shit you talking about. All that shit you talking about. I'm like if when I knock you out, you out, I'm a stomp on your ass.
All right, we'll see. Are we gonna see? We're gonna see.
So keep talking. Keep running your mouth, Mister. Keep running your mouth. Watch. I'm gonna show you.
That's what he say.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. You can't fuck with me. I'm gonna show you. I'm a spit on your ass, nigga. When I get to you, don't say nothing.
You too emotional, champ. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm gonna show you how much emotional I am. The nigga bum. The nigga's a bum.
All right,
The
so you
nigga's
fighting
a
a bum. All right,
bum.
so you fighting a
You a
bum then.
fucking
Fuck is you
bum.
talking about?
You a
duck?
fucking bum.
Fuck is you talking about, bro?
You a
Like,
fucking
shut
bum.
up. Like,
Nigga,
shut
you a
up.
fucking
Shut
bum.
up,
You
bro.
want to be
Shut
black
up.
so bad.
Shut.
You want to
Like,
be black
what?
so bad.
Yo, there's something. I don't know, guys. Make sure you show up.
Yeah,
Make
shut
sure
up,
you
bitch.
show up. Make
For
sure
you
you
not
show
even
up.
get the fight. Shut
Yeah,
up.
make sure you show up.
Shut up, bitch. You
Make sure
on
you
my
show up.
you on
Make
my
sure you
card.
show up.
You on my
Make sure you
card,
show
bitch.
up.
Shut up.
Make sure you show up.
You know, you take away the racial slurs, but pretty much that's the kind of conversations you have with me. I have voicemails of you putting me down like that, calling me a bum, saying I ain't nothing, just trying to punk me every single time. So, what do you think of the fact that LaManna says, "Hey, man, you're too emotional," and he's an emotional guy. Do you think it's something that he needs to do to get himself hyped up, to get into the fight, to get motivated for it? Or does coming into a fight with that much emotion, can that be detrimental for a fighter?
Well, Charlo's always been like that. I mean, he's always been so emotional and angry and at the world, at the boxing world. I don't know, whatever his problems are, but I think LaManna's keeping it pretty cool. Like, I mean, he's like pretty chill, like just okay, like you're mad. Who you mad at? Why are you yelling at me? And that I think is getting more under Charlo's skin. I think LaManna's doing the right thing, and he wants to get under his skin. He wants Charlo to make mistakes. This is a big fight for LaManna. This is a great opportunity. This is like, again, like for him, it's the Super Bowl of his career. Imagine if he upsets. He's a huge underdog, and if he's able to upset Charlo, then he'll be in the Caleb Plant, fight Caleb Plant, and then you fight Caleb Plant, you beat Caleb Plant, then you could get bigger fights. So this is a great opportunity for LaManna, but him also being a promoter, obviously he's learned and gotten a lot of experience from that. I think he's playing it very smart. I like his way of I like his reaction, the way he's reacting to all of Charlo's anger and emotional with the way he's acting towards him.
Yeah, Thomas is a very smart guy. He's obviously a guy who has planned for his future beyond boxing. So we wish him the best. It's a tough task ahead of him, but hopefully he comes in with the correct fight plan. Now there is another fight of note, and once again we gotta go over to Asia. This is taking place in Yokohama, Japan. It is Eduardo Sugar Nuñez out of Los Mochis. He's going to be taking on Manasori. Actually, let me make sure I get this name right. It's Masanori Rikiishi, and they're fighting for the vacant world title. What do you know about Nuñez? I've seen footage of him. He's 27-1, all 27 victories coming by way of knockout. His opponent is 16-1 with 11 knockouts. The only name of note that I could find on Nuñez's record was Miguel Marriaga, who's a guy who's lost to Valdez. He's lost to Lomachenko. He's always been one of those guys that's kind of been a B- type of fighter. What do you see in Nuñez besides the power? What do you think is there from him?
Well, I mean, he's from Los Mochis, Sinaloa. I mean, that's a hotbed for fighters. He's going to be a decent fighter when you find some guy from Los Mochis. He's a knockout artist. He doesn't leave it up to the judges. I mean, I don't know much about him, but from what I've seen some clips of him. He does have power, and he's in there he's going to Japan. He's going to Japan, fight a Japanese fighter, Rikiishi, who's on a 14-fight win streak. I think it's a great opportunity for him to showcase his skills and get in those, and get in line, for the opportunities with everybody wants to fight the monster. This fight's at 122, I believe, right? So is it what? No, it's 130, I believe. Yeah, 130, 130-pound lightweight. Yep, 130, I believe. So there's a lot of names out there that he could be in there against. I think it's just an opportunity for him to showcase his skills.
As you mentioned, he comes from Los Mochis, which is, they call it La Cuna de los Campeones, where it's basically the birthplace of champions. They've had so many champions, either come through there or who are originally from there. Arce, Cochul Montiel, and obviously he's part of that particular camp. We've often seen a lot of fighters, you see a lot of guys like from Colombia and other places where they're 27-0 and they've got like 26, 27 knockouts. When you have that particular style, what do you think are some of his deficiencies? If you go to Japan and you're fighting a guy, obviously he's going there with the mentality that he has to win by knockout.
By knockout, obviously. That's his thing. I mean, he's used to winning by knockout. So I'm thinking if he's going to Japan and you don't want to get ripped off, because you're traveling over there to Japan, you're not going over there to win, like you always say. So I think his mentality is I got to go in there and start fast and knock this guy out, because if he goes to a decision, I'm going to lose, but at the same time, when you rush in to try to get the knockout, the Japanese fighter could outbox him or catch him coming in. So, he's got to be careful in the way that he attacks and he boxes when he gets there, because it's a win or lose situation for him. Like, if he goes in there and tries to knock him out, he could run into some problems, but if he gets the knockout, then, he doesn't, you don't have to worry about it, Lupino. You don't have to worry about the judges. So it's just an opportunity for him to go over there and show his skills, man, all the way from Los Mochis, Sinaloa. I mean, he ain't got no choice. The opportunity is there. You take it and you go with it.
That is happening midweek in Yokohama, Japan. We also had something nice. It's boxing related, but it happened outside of the ring. The one and only Terrence Crawford.
Oh.
He gave the commencement speech at the University of Nebraska at Omaha. So it was nice to see him getting his recognition.
Nice.
Crawford is a guy that I don't think people realize exactly how big of a figure he is in Omaha, Nebraska. He's basically Omaha's only professional franchise. There's college football, there's college basketball, but when it comes to professional sports, Terrence Crawford is the guy. Obviously, he's got the proposed fight that's coming up that, from what we believe, is happening on
when it does
sometime
happen,
in September at a place yet to be determined. But it's nice to see those types of recognition, those types of things being handed out to fighters, especially fighters who have been working hard in obscurity for so long, and it's nice to see him get that respect.
And not only that, Lupita, like, Terrence Crawford, you've been around him a couple of times, and I've had some conversations with him, and, being that he's such a, great boxer, and, like I said, we think that he's going to beat Canelo. He's so humble, man. He's so accessible. He's, he talks to everybody. So, I respect fighters like that are very humble.
He's a quiet, humble, but also don't.
Oh, there's dog in him. There's dog in him.
Don't get crazy with him. Do not get crazy with Terrence Crawford, because you will find out real quick.
If you're going down a dark alley, you want him on your team. Yeah,
you do. You want to be on Terrence Crawford's good side. You do not want to be on Terrence Crawford's bad side. But he's also a business guy. He has ties with Warren Buffett there in Omaha, who is one of the greatest investors of all time. And he's a guy that's managed his money really well. He's a businessman, so it's nice to see that he's getting that recognition.